What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Al.S Gaming. Today we are doing an analysis of a few units. So we have a few skills that allow you to stack up damage over time, and we have a few mages that can do quite a bit of damage using such skills. So in light of this, we're just gonna go through some of them, and this is my personal analysis, and I will be giving you my personal opinion. So first, before we move on, now this only looks at stackable skills, which means skills that increase damage over time. It doesn't account for equipment, and the list will basically be going through only the units that I'll be listing. And finally, this is my personal opinion as well as analysis, so I could be wrong. You can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Before we move on, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button because why not? So we'll be looking at 5 units. These will be Ashe, Xyrus, Victoria, Emperor, and d.fina. First, let's start with d.fina. Basically, she has Dystopia, which is dark magic damage 2.8 times with an increase of 1.6 times per use, a maximum of 3 times. So that gives her a maximum multiplier of 7.6. Victoria does dark damage 2.2 times, and it increases by 1.2 times up to 7 times, so with a maximum of 10.6. She also gets Fire Jar, which basically starts off with a ×2 multiplier and will go all the way up to a max of 7 times. Xyrus gets Blood Pulsar, and which starts off at 3.5 times multiplier and will move up all the way to a maximum of 7.5 times. And we have Emperor, which has Fire from Below, Fire Magic Damage ×2, going all the way up to, if I'm not wrong, a 22 times multiplier. Lastly, we have Ashe with Thunder Jar, same as Fire Jar, which is ×2 multiplier, lightning damage this time, going all the way up to 7 times maximum. So we'll be looking at a number of things. First off, I'll be looking at overall survivability, because in order for you to build up such skills, you'll need to survive. And as you can see here, we have a chart for stats in general. So magic, defense, MP, spirit, and HP. Obviously I left out attack because it's not that important in my opinion. Looking at overall survivability, we'll take into account defense, spirit, and HP alone. So basically what I did was I ranked them. So for example, if the unit scored highest in a particular stat, let's say HP, I gave it a 1. And if it scored lowest, it received a 5. So looking at the 3 stats, defense, spirit, and HP, I just added up the scores and divided them. Based on that, the highest chance of survivability would be Ashe, followed by Emperor, d.fina, Xyrus, and Victoria. Now, take note, all this assumes that you have a very strong healer as well as a support and MP battery, because some of these skills can be very MP costly. So if you're thinking about using whichever units or any of the 5 units, take into account that overall Ashe has the highest chance of surviving based on my chart. Looking at potential damage, we have Emperor, which comes in at the highest overall multiplier with 22 times. Victoria is actually the next because she goes all the way up to 10.6 times multiplier, if I'm not wrong. Not only that, she can dual cast Fire Jar. So given that Fire Jar can be built up really fast because of dual cast and has a maximum of 7 times, that essentially allows her to do about 7 times ×2, so maybe 14 overall multiplier per turn. Ashe is next because she gets Thunder Jar, but she doesn't have stackable ability like Victoria or Emperor, but Thunder Jar once again can go all the way up to ×7 and can be dual casted. d.fina followed by Xyrus. Overall, d.fina has a 0.1 higher multiplier for her stackable ability than Xyrus. So this is just pure potential damage, assuming no killers and no equipment, as well as no imperil. Now looking at overall feasibility, personally, when it comes to d.fina, you wouldn't really be using her stackable ability. Reason being, she can dual cast Ultima. Same goes for Swimsuit d.fina. And once enhanced, it's a really good chaining ability. So you wouldn't really be using her stacking ability, given that you can chain as well as send out nukes that are chainable. If you're looking specifically for stacking abilities, d.fina will probably not be very high on the list. Secondly would be Emperor. Now Emperor is very situational because in my opinion his kit isn't that great, but he gets access to his fire from below. Now this has the highest multiplier overall, and I think that if you have a very long battle and you can keep him alive, he's very good. So a good example would be the Aigayon trial, where a lot of people have who have access to Emperor have used him overall, and yeah, it helps bring up the damage and helps you kill him a lot faster. And if I'm not wrong, Aigayon is not resistant to fire, so that really helps. Now next is Victoria. Personally, I don't really see myself using her despite her high multiplier. Reason being, number one, most bosses these days are resist to either light or dark, and her stackable ability, or overflow basically, is a dark it's a dark element ability. So if you're gonna use her alone, you're gonna have issues because she's not gonna be doing a lot of damage. But you could pair her up with units with some sort of imperil, such as Dark Veritas or any other unit that has the skill imperil. This could overall help her stackable ability do more damage. But other than that, Overflow has a very high MP cost. So if you don't have a good MP battery, you are gonna run out of MP really quickly. And although she has her own MP regen, this isn't gonna regen your MP fast enough in my opinion. Next we have Xyrus. Now Xyrus was a really cool looking unit in my opinion, and personally I would use Xyrus given certain situations, especially when it comes to fighting dragons. Number one, he has dual cast, so he can dual cast Flare followed by Watergar, or you could dual cast Flare followed by Blood Rend to do a 5 times multiplier. On top of that, you could use Flare and then use his Limit Burst followed by Blood Rend times 2, or use his Limit Burst followed by stacking his Blood Pulsar, which allows you to stack it a bit faster. Now, he's definitely not top tier in my opinion, given that his moves are a bit gimmicky here and there. But versus dragons, he could be very useful because he does an extra 50% overall damage to dragons. Now lastly is Ash, and it's very unlikely you'll be using Ash for Thunderjar, although you can, but it's just that Ash is, in my opinion, more of a support unit based on my team. So when it comes to Ash, it's more likely you'll be using Heaven's Fury over Thunderjar, because number one, Ash is more of a support in my opinion. Heaven's Fury basically is a heal, and it heals your whole team as well as does AoE damage. And on top of that, it's a really good chaining skill. So Thunderjar can be built up really fast, and it is possible for you to build her as a damage dealer, which basically spams Thunderjar over and over, especially with dual cast. Take note, she doesn't have this innately, and you will need to put it on her. But yeah, if you decide not to, or if you're like me, I'm probably not gonna use Thunderjar on her, and I'll be using her more for the chaining ability as well as the overall heal. And yeah, when it comes to certain trials such as the Blood Moon trial, she will be very useful. Overall, if you're looking at specifically stackable abilities, Ash would not be ranked very high on the list. Basically, that's my opinion on the current units that have stackable abilities that you would probably want to use or wouldn't want to use. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below, and if you haven't subscribed already, smack the subscribe button, click the bell if you have to, and let me know what else you want to see in the next video or future videos. So that's all from me, and see you guys later.